Welcome to the Non-Negotiable Living podcast, where we're building lives by design by creating non-negotiable habits around fitness, family, faith, and financial freedom.
Hey friends, Ashley here. I want to open this episode with something that's been on my heart and in my DMs a lot lately and coming up with my clients so much. And it's that end of year burnout that we all experience, especially if we're busy moms, we're juggling a lot of things, we're working, we're trying to cram before the end of the year for business owners. There's just so much going on right now. So I'm hearing it a lot, and women are saying, I'm feeling exhausted. I'm feeling just flat, like no emotions right now. I'm feeling unmotivated, and I don't know why. I just feel like everything is like going fine. I'm just not feeling that great, or I just have nothing left to give. I have zero energy. So if this sounds familiar right now, I just want you to acknowledge, first off, it's been a long year. Your nervous system knows it, and that end of year burnout is so real. So today I want to help you with some simple things that we can do, things we can acknowledge, and ways that we can give ourselves some grace this time of year so that we aren't running ourselves into the ground any more than necessary. So first off, we're going to talk about why this happens. We're going to talk through the science behind it and what your body is experiencing. Then I'm going to give you some real tools to move through this season without running yourself deeper into the ground. So this isn't an episode about pushing harder, and it's really truly about pausing, giving yourself grace, and it's about reclaiming your energy without guilt. So let's dive in. First off, why is end of year burnout so common? And let's call it what it is. We have been on all year. You've been showing up for your job, holding it down at home, trying to get fit, healthy, getting your movement in, your daily steps, the endless checklist, saying yes to everyone, keeping track of gifts, events, school things, family dynamics, holiday expectations. And that is all emotional labor, and it's draining. And especially when it's stacked on top of lack of sunlight because of winter, more screen time because work has deadlines at the end of the year, heavier foods around the holidays, and less structure when we're traveling a lot and we have a lot of events coming up. So you add a couple sleepless nights in there and you end up with sugar crashes. You're skipping meals or having super heavy meals late in the evening. You have zero personal space when your family's visiting, and it's no wonder you feel numb, edgy, and overstimulated. But here's the part that nobody talks about. It is the biology of burnout. So it isn't just emotional exhaustion, it is truly physiological. When your body perceives long-term stress, even the everyday stress of being a mom, a professional, someone holding it all together, your HPA axis, your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, is constantly activated. That means your cortisol is high, your melatonin is suppressed, your blood sugar becomes harder to regulate. Your hunger and fullness cues get completely thrown off, and your body starts storing energy, or fat, rather than burning it properly. So research shows that this chronic stress increases systematic inflammation, which is linked to gut health issues, autoimmune flare-ups, sleep disturbances, weight gain, mood swings, hormonal imbalances. Literally everything in our life starts going off the rails when we are in a high stress state. And guess what? Women are more sensitive to cortisol than men, especially if they're in perimenopause or menopause. So if you're in your 30s and 40s or 50s and you feel like you're falling apart at the seams, you're not, but your biology is crying out for support right now. Let's talk about another part that we have zero control over, the seasonal factors that add fuel to the fire. So sunlight and seasonal depression are things that we have to consider this time of year. It's December. We have short days, long evenings. The sun comes up later, it goes down earlier. We have low light exposure. So that leads to low serotonin production, which leads to higher risk for depression, anxiety, low energy, and poor sleep. So according to the National Institute of Mental Health, around 10 million Americans are affected by seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. And 80% of those people are women. And it gets worse because vitamin D deficiency is linked to poor immune function, brain fog, fatigue, even weight retention. So the less light that we have in our day equals less movement for our body because we're not getting outside as much, which leads to more inflammation in our body, which leads to worse sleep. So we're stuck in this biological loop of fatigue. And most of us try to fight it with more caffeine, more discipline, more hustle, but that's not really what we need. We need more restoration. So what should we do instead of running ourselves on empty and into the ground? Here's what I'm telling my clients and the people closest to me, and I want you to hear it loud and clear. First off, we have to stop overcommitting out of obligation. If you are not a hell yes to doing something, then make it a no. You are not obligated to attend every party, host every meal, respond to every message, say yes to keep the peace. That's not what you need to be doing this time of year. We need to protect our peace, our space, our free time. And that's not rude, it's just self-leadership and self-respect. And when you model this with your family, you teach your kids that your energy and your time and your space is sacred. We also need to feed ourselves like it matters. Let's get real. This is not a season to be skipping meals, under eating, or following some influencer's detox to roll into the new year. Our body needs fuel to fight stress. So skipping meals when we get stressed leads to blood sugar crashes, cortisol spikes, increased belly fat storage. So we need to be eating breakfast, especially high protein breakfasts. We should be aiming for at least 30 grams of protein at every meal. We need to be trying to limit ultra processed sugar and alcohol because that's going to just add fuel to the fire of everything going on in our body. And we need to drink more water. It's really easy when it gets cold outside to not drink as much water. When we're playing out in the sun all summer, we're dehydrated, we're warm, we're sweaty. It makes it easy to be like, yeah, I need some water. But when it's 32 degrees outside and snowing and you're all bundled up inside, the last thing you're like is, let me go get a glass of ice water. So we do have to be intentional about water intake. And if you're going to indulge in highly processed foods and alcohol because it is the holiday season, do it intentionally. So make sure that you set those days aside where you're like, I'm going to eat really well at breakfast and lunch because I know dinner is going to be a little off the rails, or I'm going to have a few cocktails. Just be reasonable. Try not to spread out drinking to an everyday thing throughout the holidays. Pick a few days throughout the week that you're going to drink and then plan for it. But we need to fuel our body before the party and make sure that we are getting enough water in after so that we don't deal with that bloating, those sleep disturbances, those high HRV rates at night because we're eating late. We need to make sleep a priority this time of year, and it's not a luxury, it's truly a necessity. The CDC reports that 1 in 3 adults in the US don't get enough sleep, and the research from the University of Pennsylvania shows that 1 week of inadequate sleep can lead to memory issues, lower immune function, increased appetite and cravings, emotional deregulation. So if you're feeling like you're walking around like a zombie, that's not just life, it is truly neurochemical disruption in your brain. So here's what can help. If we go to bed 30 minutes earlier, if you take magnesium glycinate or calm magnesium powder before bed, if we shut down our screens an hour before going to sleep, or make sure to wear blue light blockers so that we can get to sleep effectively when it's time to go to bed. You can also take a nice shower before going to bed or read instead of scrolling on your phone. Your brain and your body will thank you for doing these things. And honestly, sometimes all it takes is 5 minutes of breath work or meditation to get yourself to a calm state so you can go to bed rather than having the endless cycle of thoughts running through your mind while you're trying to fall asleep. We also need to cut out what no longer fits. So growth isn't always about adding more. Sometimes it's about removing what doesn't serve you. And this time of year, a lot of people are looking at New Year's resolutions and what should I add and what do I need to learn? What do I need to change? Where do I need to grow? All of these things. And we sometimes have to stop and pause and ask ourselves, what commitments did I have this year that drained me? What routines did I have that didn't align with me anymore? Where am I overgiving? Or what conversations do I need to stop entertaining? Or what conversations do I really need to have? This is a really powerful time of year to audit your life and determine what needs to be removed and what might need to be added. This time of year, it is imperative whenever we can to get outside for some walks, for some sunshine, for some fresh air. Walking is truly medicine, and according to Harvard, walking 20 to 30 minutes a day reduces our risk of depression by 36%. So anytime we can incorporate sunlight also into our movement, getting outside, getting fresh air, it is one of the most powerful resets for your brain and nervous system. And you don't need to be hitting 10,000 steps a day to feel better. Even getting 4,000, 6,000 makes a difference. Also, if you live in a place that's warmer, open the windows, step outside, try and move your body in the fresh air. It is literally the cheapest therapy available to you. So in the end, it all just comes down to the fact that this time of year is hard for a lot of people. We are all overworked and our energy is drained. We're feeling spent. We're feeling burnt out. But it's not that you're lazy. It's not that you're failing. It's not that you're weak or something is wrong with you. You are truly burned out. And it's because you've spent all year pouring out and you haven't stopped to fill your own cup. But you have the power to change that. So just remember, this time of year, you are supposed to be enjoying the holidays too. This isn't just about everybody else. So make sure that you're prioritizing time and space and resets for yourself because you deserve to feel good. You deserve to slow down. You deserve to rest. And your body requires it. It's not even that you're asking for something unreasonable or you're being selfish. You are truly just asking for the bare minimum, that you feel good through the holidays too. So let's stop pretending that we could live in overdrive constantly and not expect a crash. It's going to happen. Sometimes we just have to start with really small things. So one boundary, one good healthy meal a day, one day a week that we're getting to bed earlier, one walk in the sunshine, and then we can start building from there. Because when we feel good, we show up differently, and we show up differently for our families, for our work, for our friendships, for everything that we're building for our future. So this is your reminder: rest is not a reward, it's a requirement. You're worth it, you need it, start implementing it, and just lean into those non-negotiable habits every day. You guys got this.